Most women think a man will tell them when he's ready for something serious. But the truth, men almost never say it with words. They say it with small, subtle behaviors you're probably missing. And here's the dangerous part. A man can flirt with you. He can text you every day. He can even tell you he likes spending time with you and still not be ready for a real relationship. But when a man is serious about you, he can't hide it. His actions change, his tone changes, and the way he shows up in your life becomes completely different. Today, I'm going to reveal 7 hidden signs that a man shows only when he wants something real with you. Not casual, not temporary, but a future he doesn't want to risk losing. When a man truly wants something serious with you, the first sign won't be dramatic, loud, or overly romantic. It's subtle, it's quiet, it shows up in the way he treats your presence in his life. A man who is only looking for fun never puts real effort into creating space for you, but a man who is thinking long-term starts doing something that most women overlook. He becomes intentional. Intentionality is the first shift. It shows up in the way he communicates. You won't have to sit there wondering why hasn't he replied or is he losing interest? Because a man who wants something real doesn't leave you confused. He understands that confusion creates insecurity and insecurity destroys connection. So he becomes clear, he replies, he keeps the conversation alive. He follows through when he says he will. Not because he's perfect, but because he doesn't want to risk you feeling unimportant. And here's the interesting part. Men who want something serious start to think ahead. You'll notice that he stops treating your plans like random last-minute ideas. He begins to plan with you in mind. He'll ask what days you're free. He'll remember things you tell him about your schedule. He'll coordinate his time in a way that shows he values your presence, not just your availability. A man who is only treating you casually won't do this. He'll keep everything spontaneous because commitment requires responsibility, and he doesn't want that. But a man who sees potential with you starts building consistency. He doesn't show up one day and disappear the next. He shows up every day, even in small ways, because consistency builds trust, and trust builds the kind of foundation you need for a real relationship. And the more serious he gets, the more he prioritizes certainty over mystery. He is no longer trying to impress you with unpredictability. He's trying to make you feel safe. There's also a shift in how he listens. A man who wants to keep things casual listens only enough to keep the connection alive, but a man who wants you in his future listens with investment. He remembers the tiny details, the way you like your coffee, the goals you're working toward, the things that stress you out, the stories about your family. He stores these things because he wants to understand you, not just talk to you. And slowly, without announcing it, he begins to include you in the direction of his life. Maybe he tells you about a trip he's planning, a career change he's thinking about, or a challenge he's dealing with. Not because he needs advice, but because he wants you to be emotionally present in his world. That emotional inclusion is not something men share with casual connections. It's something they only do when they're genuinely considering the possibility of building something real. This is where the first big sign appears. He stops treating you like an option and begins treating you like a priority. Not the only priority, but a real one. The kind you create space for, the kind you protect, the kind you don't take lightly. And when a man starts doing that, everything else begins to change. The second thing that happens when a man wants a serious relationship with you is this. He starts showing you emotional transparency in ways he normally hides from everyone else. Men are trained their whole lives to stay in control, to appear strong, and to never expose fears, insecurities, or deeper thoughts unless they absolutely trust someone. So when a man begins to open up around you, it's not an accident. It's a sign of emotional investment. He'll share things about his past, not just the polished stories he tells friends, but the real moments that shaped him. He might talk about the mistakes he made, the fears he still carries, or the pressure he feels but never admits out loud. And here's the key, he doesn't do it to get sympathy. He does it because he feels safe with you. He feels understood. And a man who feels emotionally understood begins to imagine a future with you almost effortlessly. You'll notice he stops performing. He stops trying to be the cool, unaffected version of himself. He lets you see the human side, the tired days, the stressful days, the days when he feels unsure of himself. Men don't share these moments with women they don't value. They hide those parts. But with you, he lets the guard down because he's letting you into the space where real connection lives. And once this emotional transparency begins, something else naturally follows. He starts becoming more protective of the connection. not jealous, not controlling, protective. Protective in a way that says, I don't want to mess this up. He becomes more thoughtful with his words. He pays more attention to how you feel. He tries to avoid misunderstandings, not because he's scared of losing control, he's scared of losing you. You'll also notice he becomes more intentional with affection. It's not just compliments or chemistry anymore. It's reassurance, it's presence, it's those small moments when he checks in even on a busy day because he wants to stay connected. Men who aren't serious don't do this. They communicate only when it's convenient, but a man who wants something deep makes time even when life is overwhelming. And here's the subtle shift most women miss. He starts seeing you as part of his emotional support system. When something good happens, you're the first person he wants to tell. When something bad happens, you're the person he wants to talk to. Not because he's dependent, but because he genuinely values your presence in his emotional world. That's a level of connection he won't risk with someone temporary. At this stage, he also becomes more curious about your emotional world. He doesn't just ask, how's your day? He asks what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what's been on your mind lately. He pays attention to your moods, the things that lift you up, the things that affect you deeply. This is how a man begins falling into emotional partnership, not just romance. And the truth is, when a man reaches this level of connection, he begins to shift his internal priorities. He becomes more careful with your heart, more aware of his role in your life, more committed to showing up in ways that build trust rather than break it. That's how men behave when their intentions move from attraction to commitment to genuine long-term desire. Another powerful sign that a man wants a serious relationship with you shows up in the way he begins to make you part of his real life, not just his romantic moments. When a man sees you as long-term potential, he stops keeping you in a separate box. He slowly merges you into the life he actually lives, the routine he follows, and the people who matter to him. It starts small. He'll talk about his week in more detail. He'll tell you about his work, his goals, the pressure he's under, and the plans he's building for his future. He includes you not because he needs validation, but because when a man imagines a future with someone, he naturally wants her to understand the direction he's heading toward. Then comes the next step. He starts involving you in moments that matter. Not just dates, not just romantic plans, but real decisions, real thoughts, real milestones. He'll ask for your opinion on things that actually affect his life. He'll want to know what you think, not because he can't decide for himself, but because your perspective matters to him. When a man values you for the long term, your voice becomes part of his inner circle. You'll also begin to notice a change in how he introduces you to his world. He won't rush to show you off, but he also won't hide you. He won't keep you in the shadows or treat you like a secret. Instead, he'll slowly and naturally integrate you, introducing you to a friend, mentioning you to a sibling, talking about you in conversations even when you're not around. This is not something men do casually. This is a man claiming space for you in his life. And here's the part most women overlook. He pays attention to how you fit into his lifestyle. If he's serious about you, he starts adjusting things, not changing who he is, but making room. He'll restructure his schedule to spend more meaningful time with you. He'll balance his priorities differently. He'll make choices that reflect the fact that your presence is becoming part of his long-term picture. Casual connections don't get that kind of adaptation, but someone he sees as a real partner does. You might notice that he begins planning ahead with you in mind, not just for next week, but for next month, next season, sometimes even next year. He might mention a future trip, a holiday plan, an event he wants to go to, and he'll say things like, we should go, or you'd love this, or I want you there. These small shifts show a big truth. In his mind, you're already part of the future he's imagining. And perhaps the most telling shift, he stops thinking only about how you fit into his life and starts thinking about how he fits into yours. He asks about your goals, your plans, your dreams. He thinks about where you're headed. He listens to what you want for your future and mentally checks if he can align with it. That's what a man does when he's not just attracted, but invested. When a man brings you into his world in these subtle but meaningful ways, it's not chance, it's not habit, and it's not convenience, it's intention. It's the quiet evidence that in his heart, he doesn't just want you now, he wants you later. He wants you consistently. He wants you as part of the life he's building building, not just the moments he enjoys. A man who wants a serious relationship with you begins to show it most clearly in the way he handles conflict, pressure, and the moments when things aren't perfect. Anyone can be charming when everything is easy, but the real test of a man's intentions is how he responds when situations get difficult, when you set a boundary, or when there's a misunderstanding. When a man is only interested casually, the moment things become uncomfortable, he pulls away. He becomes distant, defensive, or avoids the conversation entirely. He doesn't want the responsibility that comes with emotional depth. But a man who sees you as someone he wants in his future behaves differently. He leans in. He doesn't disappear when the connection requires effort. He steps up. You'll notice that he becomes more patient with you. He listens more carefully. He tries to understand what you're feeling rather than just reacting to it. He asks questions instead of shutting down. He doesn't make you feel like expressing your needs is a burden. Instead, he values it because he knows a relationship built on silence never lasts, but a relationship built on communication can survive anything. This man also takes accountability in a way that casual men rarely do. He admits when he gets something wrong. He apologizes without ego. He reflects on his behavior and adjusts because he doesn't want to hurt you, even unintentionally. This is one of the strongest signs of emotional maturity, and men do not offer emotional maturity to someone they don't take seriously. And in these moments, he shows you something deeper, consistency in respect. He won't insult you, belittle your feelings, or make you doubt your worth. Even in disagreement, he protects your dignity. He knows that temporary frustration is never an excuse to break long-term trust. This is the quiet loyalty that separates a man who genuinely cares from the one who's only passing time. Another subtle sign appears in how he manages your boundaries. A man who is serious about you doesn't test them, doesn't guilt trip you, and doesn't push you beyond what feels comfortable. Instead, he respects them. He values them. He sees your boundaries not as obstacles, but as guidelines for building a healthier connection. A man wanting something serious understands that trust isn't built by crossing lines, it's built by honoring them. And perhaps the biggest shift is this: he fights with you, not against you. When something goes wrong, he doesn't approach the situation like it's you versus him. He approaches it like it's both of you versus the problem. He wants solutions, not drama. Understanding, not winning. Growth, not distance. Men don't do this with someone temporary. They do this with someone they see as a real partner. When a man shows you emotional resilience, patience, and genuine effort during the moments that matter, that's when you know his intentions are real. Because affection during the good times is easy, but commitment during the hard times is the real sign of sincerity. Another powerful sign that a man wants a serious relationship with you shows up in the way he becomes consistent in his effort, not just at the beginning, not just when he wants your attention, but long after the excitement of the early stage fades. Most men can be charming for a week. Some can be consistent for a month. Very few stay consistent when real life gets busy, stressful, or complicated. But a man who sees you as long-term doesn't let effort become optional. He sees it as part of loving you. You'll note he becomes intentional with how he shows up. Even on days when he's tired or distracted, he doesn't disappear. He might not always be perfect, but he's present. He sends that message. He checks in. He keeps the connection alive, not because he's trying to impress you anymore, but because he values the relationship you're building. Consistency becomes his love language. And here's something important. He doesn't give you energy only when he wants something back. He gives because caring about you has become natural to him. He supports you without expecting a reward. He encourages you without needing credit. His effort becomes steady, predictable, and sincere. Casual men give bursts of energy. Committed men give stability. You'll also see a change in how he prioritizes you, not in a dramatic, flashy way, but in small, meaningful decisions. He'll adjust plans to accommodate you. He'll remember the things that matter to you. He'll go out of his way to make sure you feel valued. These aren't gestures of persuasion. They're gestures of partnership. And then there's the timing. When a man only sees you as temporary, you'll always feel like you're fitting into his leftover time. But when he sees you as someone real, he plans his time around you. He makes space in his schedule, not because he has to, but because he wants to. He's not just squeezing you in, he's choosing you. A man who's serious about you also becomes more intentional with how he communicates during difficult moments. He doesn't let silence grow into distance. He doesn't leave you wondering where you stand. He doesn't play mind games or disappear to create momentum. Instead, he becomes reliable, someone you can trust to show up emotionally even when life gets complicated. And in those moments when you pull back, Whether because you're hurt, unsure, or overwhelmed, he doesn't punish you for it. He doesn't make you chase him or beg for his attention. Instead, he steps closer. He reassures you. He reminds you, through his presence, that he's not going anywhere. That emotional consistency is one of the strongest signs of serious intention. But here's the part that truly separates him from men who aren't ready. He begins to invest in your emotional well-being. He notices when something is off. He pays attention to the changes in your energy. He asks how you're really doing, not just how your day went. He listens, not to respond, but to understand. Men don't do this for someone they view as temporary. They do it for someone whose heart they want to protect. When a man consistently invests his time, his effort, and his emotional presence into you, it's not strategy. It's not performance. It's commitment. It's his way of saying, without needing the perfect words, I'm building something with you and I'm not going to disappear when things stop being easy. One of the clearest signs that a man wants a serious relationship with you is the way he starts to protect your emotional experience when you're with him. Not in a controlling way, not in a possessive way, but in a way that shows he genuinely cares about how you feel, what you go through, and how his actions affect your heart. Men who are not thinking long-term don't think about your emotional safety, but a man who sees you as someone real becomes deeply aware of the impact he has on you. You'll notice he becomes more intentional with reassurance. He doesn't leave you guessing. He doesn't make you compete for his attention. He doesn't play games to gain power. Instead, he creates emotional clarity. He communicates directly because he understands that confusion erodes trust, and trust is the foundation of the future he wants with you. Even if he's not perfect with words, he makes an effort to make you feel secure because your peace matters to him. And beyond that, he starts paying attention to your emotional triggers. He notices the things that hurt you, even if you don't explain them fully. He sees the way you react to certain situations, the expression you get when you're overwhelmed, the tone of your voice when something is off. And instead of brushing it aside, he becomes more mindful. He adjusts how he speaks, how he responds, how he shows up. This emotional awareness is not something men give easily. They give it only to women they value deeply. You may also see that he becomes more thoughtful about your comfort. He checks in when you're stressed. He supports you when you're anxious. He tries to understand the emotional layers behind your actions instead of jumping to conclusions. He wants to be someone you can rely on, someone you can trust, someone you can open up to without fear of dismissal. This is where emotional maturity merges with emotional commitment. Another subtle shift comes in how he reacts to your vulnerability. When you share something personal, painful, or sensitive, he doesn't make light of it. He doesn't use it against you. He holds it with respect. He listens with care. He becomes more gentle with your heart because he recognizes the value of what you're giving him. A man who's serious sees your vulnerability as a privilege, not a weapon. And then something even deeper starts to happen. He becomes invested in your growth. Not just your happiness in the moment, but your long-term well-being. He encourages your goals. He supports your ambitions. He motivates you when you doubt yourself. He celebrates your progress and stands with you during challenges. He doesn't feel threatened by your success. He feels proud of it. That's a man who sees you as part of his life, not part of his weekend. ULL also noticed that he starts being more open about his own emotional struggles. He lets you in, not because he wants pity, but because he trusts you with his real self. And in that exchange, your vulnerability and his, you'll feel the bond between you deepen in a way that casual connections never achieve. When a man protects your emotional world, respects your feelings, supports your growth, and offers his own heart in return, it's not temporary interest, it's long-term intention. It's his way of saying, without drama, without pressure, your heart matters to me, and I'm here for more than just the moment. So here's the thing. If he's showing these signs, it's not just about attraction, it's about intention. He's thinking about a future with you, even if he hasn't said the words out loud yet. And that's powerful because actions speak louder than words. But remember this, you don't need to chase, beg, or guess. A man who truly wants a serious relationship will make it clear through his consistency, his effort, and the way he prioritizes you. Trust your intuition, notice the patterns, and honor your own standards. At the end of the day, a relationship isn't just about love. It's about respect, trust, and alignment. When the right person is in your life, you feel seen, valued, and safe to be yourself. And when you notice these hidden signs, don't ignore them, lean into them, but always stay true to what you deserve. So take a deep breath, trust the journey, and remember, love shows up in small, consistent ways. If he's doing these things, it's not luck, it's intention. And that's exactly what a serious relationship looks like.